So this little parcel just arrived, and quite excited to show you the new paints that I've bought. I've very much for the last year been about just using the paints that I've got and learning to mix with the colours I've got and not buying lots of extra. But I recently decided that I wanted to get some metallic paint. So I ordered this on Amazon. I've not opened it yet. I've just removed the stickers that were sort of sealing the box. So before I open it, I'm just going to read you a little bit of the description, because it says, a pigment made of natural organic metal pearl powder imported from Germany, added with New Zealand honey plant glycerin, mixed with a variety of essential oils, lavender, lemongrass, mint, citrus, etc., without other additives. So it is more shiny and shiny. Shiny and shiny. Unlike ordinary pearlescent watercolour paint. Let you be a full fragrance in the process of painting to ensure that the whole process is handmade. And there's lots more information, but I just thought I'd read that first little bit of information because I just want to get on and open the box now. It's CSY Art Gallery, and I'll put a link in the description if you wanted to get it as well. Oh, it's such a cute little tin. Okay, and we've got handmade honey watercolour. Okay. Well, that's so cute. And we've got a little bag of silica. Oh, and it's got little magnets as well that you can put on the bottom to keep them in the tin. That's great. Let's see what we've got. Oh, they look like little sweets, don't they? And it's got actual painted bit on the front to show the real colour. Oh, except that one. Doesn't seem to have any colour on that one. Crystal silver, Inca gold, red brown, golden copper, gold pearl, and chocolate green. Saying they look like little wrapped up sweets, and then you find one that's got chocolate in the name. That's just too tempting, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look. Let's open these up. Try and do it carefully so I don't destroy the label, and then hopefully I can mark which one's which. Oops. Yeah, that's the, well, it's chocolate green. It's definitely a greeny sort of colour. There's no markings on the pan. I wonder if I can take off the little labels and put on the side. Yes. Golden copper. So when I did actually buy a really cheap set of paints at a local shop that had some metallics in, but it was kind of one of those things where it was like I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for, so I just settled for the closest I could find, and then I came home and went on Amazon, which I should have done in the first place, because I should have known that I wasn't going to find what I was looking for locally. And what I wanted was metallics, which are actually metal, like metal colours, because a lot of the metallic paints that I'd seen, it was kind of, there was red and green and blue, and it's like, well, what I want actually silver and gold and copper, so this little set seemed perfect. In my recent art project that I've been doing, there were a few times when I kind of wanted silver and gold, and I ended up using silver and gold pens or pencils, and that's what kind of prompted me to think actually it would be really nice to have some actual metallic watercolour paints. I'm just going to go and grab some scissors quick now so we can stick the magnets on as we go. I was going to save that and do it later, but I think I might as well do it now. Okay, so we want to cut these into 3. What's it got on the bottom? Oh, it's like embossed on the bottom with CSY Art Gallery. Makes you think it's a nice good quality paint when the company's got their own embossed pans. We've got golden pearl, Inca gold, gold copper, and then on the bottom we'll have crystal silver, the chocolate green, and the red brown. Actually, swap those two around because the red brown is kind of quite coppery looking. So it's kind of like, I feel like the green is the little bit of the odd one out at first glance. How cute is that? And they're held in with the magnets. Such a cute tin. Okay, let's give them a test. Now I've heard that metallic paints take a little bit more persuasion to get going out of the pan. Oops. Let's dilute that down. The silver one doesn't show up very well on the white paper, but I expect it looks really nice on the dark. I also wonder if, having said that I wasn't really interested in having metallics of other kind of random colours, I wonder if the silver could be mixed with other colours to make normal watercolours kind of pearlescent. That would be quite interesting to know, even if it's not something that I particularly think that I would use. Okay, and the last one, the chocolate green, which looks very green in the pan, but it looks very much more chocolatey on the paper. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, was I even in frame for that last one? Probably not. Let me zoom back out a bit. Whoops. Okay. So at the moment, I don't know, can you see shine on there? It's interesting. I'll come back when it's dry and see how it looks. But I'm quite pleased with that because I wanted some metallics, but kind of a more natural metallic colours. So let's see what that's like after it's dried. Okay, so these are dry now, and I've added in the names. I also cut off the little piece from the front of the packets where it had the original paint samples on, and I realised that the silver one, which I thought had actually been missed, because it's so pale on the white paper, but there is actually a bit of the silver on there as well. I don't know if you can see the shine. It's not actually as shiny as I thought it would be, considering the description talked about shine and shine. But I thought what I'd do is I'd come back, I've put a black line over the top, and I thought I'd see if we can intensify the colour, but also see how opaque the colours are as well. Okay, so I'll probably try and use a little bit less water and just a bit more intense on the paint. Probably a bit too gloopy really to use it like that in a real life situation, but to be honest, most of the times when I'm going to be using these, it's probably only going to be on small details of an image anyway, where there's some shiny metal. But I like the more intense colour, looks good. Well, that's a nice one, I like that. And this is going to sound strange, but it's called golden copper, but what it actually reminds me of is copper grease. I don't know how many of you know about copper grease. It's something that when I used to have a classic car, and copper grease is something that you perhaps put a small amount on like nuts and bolts to stop them seizing up, and it has actually got like copper in it. But when I was just putting that one on, I was like, oh, it's just like putting copper grease on the paper. This has got a nice one too, although perhaps not such a realistic metal colour. Unless you want shiny rust. Okay, and then the chocolate green. I think earlier I kept calling it chocolate brown, because that just feels like what it should be, and then obviously it looks kind of brown as well. Ah, when it's thicker you can see. Can you see the hint of green in there as well? Okay, can you see that? I'm just kind of hoping that while I'm tilting it you're getting the shine. Yeah, I really like those. I was slightly disappointed with my first coat. I mean, they were nice colours, but not as bold as I was hoping. But then going back over it with a second coat, I'm really pleased with those, and interesting to see what they'd look like on dark paper as well. I'll have to see if I can find some dark paper to give them a try. So I thought I'd finish off this little test by trying the paints on brown and black paper as well, and I'm really happy with how they look. The silver especially just stands out so lovely, because obviously on the white it doesn't show up all that much unless it's kind of catching the light. But yeah, I'm really pleased with those. And the one which surprised me the most was the chocolate green, because obviously originally it mostly looked brown, and then when I did a thicker coat you can kind of see a hint of the green, and the same on the brown paper is kind of like there's a hint of green, but on the black paper it looks really green. So that's interesting. So yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad. That's just that's just how it is. But overall, I've been really happy with these little paints. They seem a really lovely quality. Not that I've got much to compare with, because you know I don't really have any experience with metallic watercolours. I think I mentioned I bought a really cheap set, and it's so cheap. It doesn't even specify that it's watercolours. It just says metallic paint pans. So I assumed that they were watercolours, just cheap, but who knows. But yeah, these ones are really lovely. And I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to try them yourself. I don't have any affiliation with the company, like I don't get any benefit from it, but I just thought I'd share with you what I think, even though all I've done so far is swatched out the colours. I've not actually used them for anything yet. But it's a nice addition to my collection because, as I said, for the last year, you know, I've just been using these 15 colours and I've been making do with these colours for all of my watercolour. So it'll be nice to have a little metallic set to occasionally use alongside my standard colours. So thank you for watching. I hope it's not been too long-winded for such a small test. Thank you, and I'll hopefully see you soon.